The methodology we subscribe to closely at Codebots is closer to a Kanban methodology. The reason that we go for Kanban is because we look for a continuous flow of work. We've got multiple work streams. We've got product, we've got bot, we've got support. So we've got all these work streams happening. And because we've got limited resources and we need to smooth out the flow across those work streams, it works a lot better for us. Basically, we can't wait 2 weeks to fix things for our customers.
We do use a Scrum approach, but we will be quite light on. We will do grooming a bit more ad hoc as needed. We will run our retros in a variety of different styles. So we'll try to stay light and not couple the two any particular process as we go. Because other teams in our company do like to work at much more of a Kanban style. So they won't have a particular routine they'll do things as needed. Really, just like that pulling in approach. They'll pull in work as needed, they'll pull in a meeting with X many people as needed, and just take that flow, and it works completely for what they're trying to get done in terms of who's watching that project and its deliverables. We don't need to do grooming once per iteration per se. And then once and also when it comes to pulling into work into our sprint, we will pull in sort of what makes sense for the tracking on that project, but we're not particularly concerned about a story definitely being delivered per se within a sprint, or indeed completing more than we thought and pulling more into a sprint. So we're quite loose in terms of where that boundary lies, which is why it does feel we do have a bit more of that pull style of Kanban, but within an iteration. So we have retro once a week, we have demo once a week, and that cadence gives us something to deliver to our customers and people who are watching the project, essentially. But yeah, once the sprint starts, it actually feels quite Kanban to get through that iteration.
In Rogue 2, we subscribe to Kanban, although we do draw on our experience with Scrum as well. For example, we still use our daily stand-ups in the morning for the teams.
I really like Scrum, simply because the work I'm doing is experimental. You would want to define points where somebody else can access your results of work. Especially when working with researchers. Researchers are idea generators. And in your head, things are fluent and they can be quickly explored. But software is a much more viscous dough. Software puts up more resistance, especially when it grows in size. So if you do not have a means to reduce the ideas to what's really wanted, you can quickly get lost and produce nothing that's presentable. So Scrum allows you a way to say, we're committed for this interval, and after this time, we will show to ourselves and to everybody else that these are the new properties that we can deliver.
The most important thing is having something that works for the team itself. Again, the people over the process. But then whatever process does work for your team, I think the next most interesting thing to try to tease apart is the stories themselves, to break them down into the right scale and fidelity for an autonomous piece of work that can deliver value, that one or two people can really wrap their teeth around, that they can sort of pick up and feel a sense of accomplishment in. Breaking down different deliverables and dependencies, getting that order right, and figuring out actually if we broke that story up just in this little part here and there, we could get that first, which would make QA easier for this other thing. That sort of conversation around that with the entire team, I've just seen that yields fantastic results when you get that size just right, whatever that happens to be for where you're at in the project. Because then you get to really leverage the strengths of whatever process you've chosen and have things just flow through really nicely.
What I like to do is I like to pick a data handling support that helps me manage my project. And I like it to align with the ideas that I need to organize the project. So for Scrum, product owner, ticket, iteration, and test and such. And I try to apply those tools that I pick fully. So I really want to buy into it. I want to make sure that I have my tickets assigned to a release, that I have them labeled by issue type, that I actually review them regularly. So I think being serious about the tools and collecting data from the tools is the core that I would like to see. So the alternative is somebody who is so amazing in their memory capabilities that they can capture all the issues that are flying around in a project and then do the sums and see which take longest and what their properties were. I don't think that's possible. You need a computer for that, and you did it in the 1960s. So if you look at what Brooks has done in his writing, it's all about using the computer to control the process that we humans can't control anymore.
Again, talking from Road 2's point of view, where we support software once it's in production, I would say that quality is the greatest output from any software development methodology.
So that's it. You've heard a lot of really cool stuff, some wise words from some very wise people. I've absolutely enjoyed writing this article and talking to the people about the differences between Scrum and Kanban. The ISO project, hopefully you appreciate it. 6 kilos lighter and feeling fitter and stronger. Good times.